I'm currently working on a Kent Hovind song. Haven't quite finished it, so in the meantime I thought I would do another video in my Going Feral series. If you have ever considered saying fuck it to society and head for the hills, there to hide and live for a few months or longer, you may wish to consider what I have said in my previous 3 videos in this series. My chief caution is that once a person quits society and lives a lone wolf life, or a coyote life such as I did, it is very hard to go back to what passes for civilization afterwards. It is like being a homeless person living on the streets, stepping back into life with a job, an apartment to live in, credit cards, telephone bills, freeway traffic. It will all be a traumatic event, and one may need help to adjust back into society. Living in the hills, away from other people, tends to change a person. Care must be taken to force oneself to bathe, to wash one's clothing, to shave if one is male, or even female, to scrub one's teeth and to walk quietly through a store instead of talking loudly to oneself, like I did and unfortunately still do. Effort must be made to remind oneself that one is still a human being and not a wild beast. I only know what the laws are in the United States regarding a citizen staying on public land. I can therefore only speak about the United States. I have heard that Costa Rica has a liberal squatters' rights law for citizens, but there is no such law in the United States unless one is American Indian and has American Indian issues involved in staying on a particular piece of land. There are no more areas in the United States open to homesteading. The last homesteaded parcel that was patented, as far as I recall correctly, was in the year 1972. The Homestead Act has been repealed since then. In the United States, it is legal for a person to stay on public land for varying periods of time. The popular state parks generally limit a person's stay to between 3 to 5 days. National parks and forests allow from 5 to 21 days. That depends on how remote the parks and forests are. The more remote in general, the longer one may stay there. There are notable exceptions, such as Santa Barbara Island, which is the least visited state park. Due to environmental reasons, one is limited in the stay there for generally hours. Usually a person arrives on boat, visits the park, and then stays on the boat at night and leaves. Perhaps needless to say, it is against the law to stay in any state or federal park, forest, or preserve or monument beyond the allotted time posted. It is also against the law to build any structure on public land that can be considered a permanent or semi-permanent structure. Lean-tos made out of tree branches and sticks tied together with string may be considered non-permanent and legal. The exact same structure, built with just a single nail or screw, may be considered semi-permanent and therefore illegal, regardless of if you pitch a tent or live on a blanket on the ground, or build a 2-story A-frame house. Staying in the area longer than the legal time span is still against the law. There may be a loophole, however. I have not tested this loophole, but others I am personally aware of have used it. What follows may very damn well be against the law. I do not know. Therefore, what follows must not be taken as legal advice by anyone. In the United States, land that is owned by the public is generally open to mineral claiming and extraction. Lands overseen by the Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, are generally open to exploitation by miners and mining companies. Forests generally are not, but there are exceptions. Monuments sometimes are. Preserves are sometimes open to mineral claiming in some instances if one gets permission. And parks are not, as a rule, open to mineral claiming. If you wander the deserts and find a quartz blowout with signs of gold or silver, or any other valuable mineral, if you are a citizen, you may be free to claim the right of ownership on that find, if there is no previous claim or if a previous claim has expired without a patent. If you mark a claim and file on it, you may then stay at that site to work that claim. In fact, you are required to work that claim and expend $100 or more on that claim every year. Or your claim will become void and someone else may come along and claim it. I know of some people in the East Mojave who have a turquoise mine that they live at and work. They have a trailer they live in, and that trailer sits on public land as far as I can tell. As long as they work their turquoise mine, it seems to me, in my opinion, they are living there on public land legally. They also sell turquoise to folks who might happen along. The mine they work, by the way, is over 600 years old. American Indians used to mine turquoise there. There is also another mining camp in the Kingston Range Wilderness area, which is public land. And those people there live on land and, I assume, own a patent mineral claim. That claim has a fundamentalist Christian theme, and I am not convinced they are actually doing any mining there. They were too spooky, even for me, to walk up to and talk to. It is my suspicion that there may be hundreds of people in the western states living on public lands who are there by benefit of owning and working mineral claims. I will soon make a video outlining how to file a mineral claim, what the requirements are, and how to maintain a patent on that claim. In my opinion, the state of Nevada is by far the best place in the United States to get lost in. The Nevada desert is vast and in many places trackless. The mountain ranges provide firewood and water. There are also many freshwater springs scattered throughout Nevada. Not all of them are known. When I was 17 years old, I found a freshwater spring 5 miles south of Indian Springs, Nevada. It is tucked in a hillside that has pine trees and cottonwood trees growing around it. This spring is not found on any topographic map of the area. The place is called Indian Ridge. There must surely be a great many more springs throughout Nevada that nobody knows about, but which someone who feels the need to abandon civilization for a while might go out and find. Perhaps you. Once there, such a person could file on a mineral claim and perhaps live at that claim and work it legally.